try to see and study the structure of mitochondria, we will study that it is a double membranous structure. That is, it is covered by two unit membranes. One is the outer mitochondrial membrane and other is the inner mitochondrial membrane. Apart from it, we are saying the difference in the compounds that are present inside the membranes. In outer mitochondrial membrane, we are saying that more phospholipids and cholesterol are present, whereas in inner mitochondrial membrane, we are saying there is less amount of phospholipid as compared to the outer membrane, and it has more amount of proteins. Then when the membrane was studied, we are saying that it is around 60 to 75 angstrom thick in diameter, and we are saying that the outer surface of the inner membrane is called C phase. Now to study this part, firstly we have to observe the structure here. So as you can see, we have drawn a structure of mitochondria in which we are trying to say that it is a double membranous structure covered by two membranes. One is the outer membrane and other is the inner membrane. So outer membrane is known as outer mitochondrial membrane and inner membrane is known as the inner mitochondrial membrane. Apart from it, we are trying to say that the space between the two membranes, that is the outer membrane and the inner membrane, that space is known as perimitochondrial space, and we are also calling it as outer chamber. Then we are saying that the inner membrane is not continuous, it is folded into some specific structure, or it is invaginated inside, and thus it is forming two phases. One is the C phase and other is the M phase. Now what are these C phases and M phases? If we try to observe from the outside, that is, we are saying the outer surface of the inner membrane. This is the outer membrane and this one is the inner membrane. So when we see it from the outside, that is the outer surface of the inner membrane, it looks like C-shaped structure. When we try to observe it, we are trying to say that when we observe it from outside, we are seeing that it is forming a C-shaped structure like this. So the outer surface of this inner membrane, when observed from the outside, we are calling it that it is forming a C phase. Now the second line, it is saying that the inner surface of inner membrane is known as M phase. Now this is again the inner membrane, and when observed from inside, we will see that a M-shaped structure is formed like this. So this is an M-shaped structure. So this we are trying to say the outer surface, when observed from outside, we see a C-shaped structure. That's why we are calling it as C phase. And when observed from the inside, the inner membrane, when it is folded inside, we observe this M-shaped structure, and hence we are calling it as M phase. So this was about the different phases in which we are saying how the inner membrane is observed. If observed from the outside, we are calling it as C phase, and if observed from inside, we are calling it as M phase. Now apart from it, when we try to study the structure, we find that this inner membrane, it is folded inside, and this folded structure or the invagination is known as cristae. These invaginations of the inner membrane is folded inside, and this structure is known as cristae. Second thing in which we are trying to say is the mitochondria, it is having its own ribosomes, it is having its own DNA. As you can see here, this is a circular DNA, a particular genetic material of mitochondria that it is having inside it. Apart from it, it is also having a ribosomes which are of 70S type. We'll study about the ribosomes later on, in which we'll study the different types of ribosomes. So here firstly we are trying to say that mitochondria itself is a cell organelle which is having its own circular DNA, as well as it is having its own ribosomes, and that's why we used to call it as semi-autonomous cell organelle. Semi-autonomous we have already discussed when we have drawn that hierarchical chart of the cell organelles, in which we were saying that two major cell organelles, that is the mitochondria and plastids, these two have their own genetic material, that is DNA, RNA and ribosomes, and thus they have their own protein synthesizing machinery, which means they can synthesize their own proteins. Thus they are known as semi-autonomous cell organelles. Apart from it, what we are trying to say is, on the structure of this cristae, yellow dotted particles, pin-like particles are drawn. Now what are these pin-like particles? These are known as oxysomes or F0, F1 particle. Now we'll study in detail what are these particles, and we'll zoom in this structure of the F0, F1 particle. So now we are saying that the inner membrane, the inner mitochondrial membrane is folded into various finger-like projections, and these finger-like projections are known as cristae. So we are saying that this inner membrane, this was the outer mitochondrial membrane, the inner one, it is folded into these shape structures, that is finger-like structures, and these finger-like structures are known as cristae. On that cristae, we are saying some pin-like particles are present, that is the cristae is studded with pinhead particles, and these particles are known as oxysomes or F0, F1 particles. Now when we try to observe this structure closely, for example, we are taking a single oxysome to be studied, what is the structure, how it is being studied in that membrane. So when we try to observe the structure here, you can see this diagram in which we are trying to observe a single oxysome, and this oxysome, as you can see here, is made up of two parts. One is the base, that is the F0 subunit stalk, and other is the F1 subunit head. So we are having two parts of a single oxysome, hence we are also calling it as F0, F1 particle. Secondly, when we try to observe the diagram here, we try to see that this is the inner mitochondrial membrane. Here we are having the outer chamber, this outer chamber which we were talking about, that is the perimitochondrial space. So this is the outer chamber and this is the matrix that is inside of the mitochondria, as you can see here. This is the matrix region. So we are trying to observe this single oxysome. So when we observe this single oxysome, we are saying that is the stalk structure, it is completely embedded, completely studded or completely fixed in the inner mitochondrial membrane. It is only the F1 head region which is protruding out or which is coming out from this inner mitochondrial membrane. So this is the complete structure. Now what is the importance of this structure or oxysome? We have given a title to the mitochondria, that mitochondria is known as powerhouse of the cell, or it is also known as the energy currency of the cell. Now why we are calling it as powerhouse or energy currency of the cell? We generally know that the energy required by the cell or produced is in the form of ATP, that is adenosine triphosphate, and this ATP is produced by mitochondria in large amount. Now how it is being produced? It is only because of this oxysomes or F0, F1 particle that their configuration, their arrangement helps in the process, and that process is known as oxidative phosphorylation. Now what does this term oxidative phosphorylation mean? We are saying that the oxysomes or the F0, F1 particle, they are performing a step, and that process or a step is known as oxidative phosphorylation, in which we are simply saying it helps in the formation of ATP by using the energy produced during the oxidation process. Oxidation process, we all human beings consume food, and the food that is stored in the form of glucose. Now this glucose is oxidized when we take in oxygen by the process of breathing. So this oxygen, with the help of this oxygen, we are breaking down the food and we are producing energy. So ultimately it is the oxidative phosphorylation which is done in the mitochondria with the help of oxysomes, in which we are simply trying to say that it helps in the formation of ATP, that is the energy required by the cell, by the energy of the oxidation. Oxidation, that is the breakdown of the food in presence of oxygen. So simply we are trying to say that mitochondria is given the title or the name that the powerhouse of the cell or energy currency of the cell only because of this structure, that is oxysomes or F0, F1 particle. Because of their structure, we are able to form ATP, that is the energy which is required by the cell to perform various life functions. So it is one of the most important cell organelles which helps in forming energy in large amount required by the cell. So this was about the basic structure of mitochondria. Now we'll also study about the matrix and what are the different things that are found inside the matrix, or that is the inner chamber of the mitochondria. So now if we try to observe about the structure of the matrix, or what are the different things that are being found inside the matrix or inner chamber. So as you can see here in this diagram, we have already discussed that the matrix has the circular DNA, single double-stranded circular DNA. Apart from it, we are saying it has ribosomes which are of 70S type, and as well as it is also having various enzymes for Krebs cycle. Now what is this Krebs cycle? We'll study about this whole cycle later on, but to give a brief idea here about what is Krebs cycle, it is an important part of the aerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration, in which the food is broken down in presence of oxygen. So it requires various types of different enzymes to break down the food in presence of oxygen. And these enzymes are present inside this mitochondrial matrix region. Hence we can say the major part or the most important part of the aerobic respiration is completed or is done in mitochondrial matrix. So in matrix, as you can see here, we are saying that it is having enzymes for the Krebs cycle. That is an important part of the aerobic respiration. Secondly, we are saying it has complete protein synthesis apparatus. Protein synthesis apparatus, that is all those things which are being required to make or to synthesize protein. All these things or raw materials itself, they are found in a particular this cell organelle. And these are the things, that is ribosomes, which we have already discussed, that is 70S type. Then we are saying DNA, that is deoxyribose nucleic acid, that is you have seen here, we are having a single double-stranded circular DNA. Then we are saying it is having different types of RNAs which also help in synthesizing protein. And apart from it, the different enzymes which are required to synthesize the protein, they are also found inside this mitochondria. So since it is having all the different things to synthesize the protein, hence we are calling it as semi-autonomous cell organelle. Means it is itself complete in all the things to synthesize its own protein. It is not dependent on the other cell organelles to take the protein, hence we are calling it as semi-autonomous cell organelle. So this was about the major structure of the mitochondria. Now we'll move on to the functions. What are the important functions that are being performed by mitochondria?